He-Man and the Masters of the Universe have been such an integral part of my childhood that any new adaptation, be it animated or live action, always has my attention. So, I can imagine the excitement of the fans now that the official final trailer has been released for the upcoming live action film. The trailer offers a glimpse into the magical world of Eternia and the chaos that comes with it. But for any live action adaptation of such a concept, the concern is usually how it lands visually. Well, you can rest easy about this one because the movie looks absolutely stunning and the special effects have been done right to perfect everything about Eternia. He-Man looks the part, and so do his arch-nemesis Skeletor and the other important characters. And I cannot keep calm with just a couple months until the June 5th release. In this video, I will break down the subtle details of the trailer for you, so that you know just what to expect when you head into the theaters.
Skeletor took my family.
Things start with Skeletor's victory. If you go back to the memories of the 80s animated series, there was hardly any dark element in the narrative, and it mostly comprised of stories where He-Man and his allies saved the day and Eternia remained safe from Skeletor's evil schemes. You can expect the live-action movie adaptation to take a more serious turn, because the trailer and teasers have suggested that it starts off with Skeletor's victory over King Randor. After realizing that a massive loss is imminent, the Crown Prince of Eternia, Adam Glenn, who's only a 10-year-old kid during this time, is spirited away to his mother, Queen Marlena's home planet of Earth. This separates him from everyone he knows and loves, and also keeps him away from the Power Sword. An adult Adam finally gets the chance to return to Eternia, and from the looks of the trailer, he finds himself against all odds, with only a handful of warriors loyal to his cause. Yeah, you have all the familiar faces, which I'm coming to later, but the main thing is that he has a chance to undo all the wrongs done to Eternia and reclaim his birthright as well as his status as He-Man.
But you're too scared to use it.
Trust me, I know how to use it.
Jared Leto's Skeletor voice is revealed in the new trailer. Well, it wasn't a secret that Jared Leto is the voice for Skeletor in the movie, and the earlier teaser did not give us the exact tone and voice of the evil mastermind. Finally, we have it in this official trailer, and I have to admit I'm not particularly impressed by how it sounds. The fan opinions have been largely divided on this because it's not a very expected choice, and personally, I would always imagine Skeletor to have a heavier voice when the story is supposed to be so serious. The distinctive vocal performance has also been called Shakespearean by some, and while that might be true, I'm not too sure if that's the requirement of the hour here. Nevertheless, I wouldn't mind if the character is written right and has the right dialogue choices and role in the movie.
I know most of you don't remember me, but I know all of you.
Prince Adam reunites with familiar faces. The new trailer offers a deeper journey of Adam as he embraces his heroic story arc by assuming the power of He-Man. However, what really caught my attention is the other Eternian warriors who are shown to be working with him for the mission to save their planet from Skeletor. The scene in the trailer where He-Man is thrown inside a cell has many other familiar faces also held captive. Among them, you can spot Man-at-Arms, Teela, Ram-Man, Mechaneck, and Fisto, besides a few other loyal fighters. Clearly, they're caught in a spot, and I'm guessing that the return from Earth doesn't go too well for Adam in the early stages, because when he's thrown into the cell, he's still wearing his earthly clothes. Maybe it'll take special effort from them together to break out of the cell and launch a counterattack, but it is still a hearty reunion, even though many of them do not recognize Adam from 2 decades ago.
It's all my fault. I know how it feels to fail.
Adam's backstory is heartbreaking and adorable. The new trailer makes it clearer how Adam ended up on Earth in the first place, and I find this backstory rather appealing. He talks about how he had been stuck light years away from his home planet Eternia on Earth, but he never stopped trying to get back home. The glimpses from the trailer indicate that he is stuck in some corporate job on Earth, and there's also a part of the trailer dedicated to his childhood. One of the scenes that stands out for me is when adult Adam looks at the drawings he made as a kid, and it shows King Randor and Queen Marlena, along with a tiny Cringer. He also drew the Power Sword, and it shows a longing to go back where he belongs. Finally, it happens as Teela takes him back to Eternia, but it's not the place he remembered as a kid. Teela explains, "Everything changed since you left," and Adam is horrified to realize that it's all gone, and the place now looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The story also reveals that Skeletor took his family, and there's a heartbreaking scene where young Adam watches King Randor being taken away, even as he is probably escaping to Earth. He-Man has the strength and raw power that we're familiar with. As a fan, I would love nothing more than some nostalgic throwbacks to the Filmation era, which is why the appearance of He-Man has been very satisfying for me. From the looks of him in the trailer, I can say this with certainty, that he's extremely strong and just as much of a superhero figure as we've seen in the animated series. There's a quick shot of him stopping the spinning blades of the Roton with his bare hands and hurling it away, causing it to crash. Also, the way he fights Skeletor is noteworthy because he is not afraid to wield the power that he possesses. I love the scene where he screams, "I have the power!" And his muscular physique certainly makes his war cry convincing. This version of Skeletor, in all likelihood, is going to be extremely powerful, especially after his victory over Eternia. To fight back as an equal is a feat in itself, which brings me to the next point in the trailer that deserves your attention. Some epic fight scenes between He-Man and Skeletor. I mean, isn't that somewhat obvious? Of course, He-Man and Skeletor are going to face off against each other in a Masters of the Universe movie. But what has really caught my eye here in the trailer is how the duel has been made so cinematic. Yeah, some of the purists might not appreciate going overboard with the special effects for this scene, but the trailer clearly suggests that there are going to be some epic encounters between the two, and they will be evenly matched. As for He-Man, he has a lot more than just retrieving his beloved Eternia from Skeletor, because the latter has taken his family from him and is the reason behind spending his youth on Earth. It also looks like he has stolen the Power Sword from Skeletor and uses it to transform into He-Man. But there might be another angle to this narrative. The revenge fight will be gritty, filled with emotions, and maybe even a climactic duel that sets up the future of the franchise. The trailer shows Skeletor trying to talk down to He-Man to undermine his confidence, but Adam is determined as ever as he wields the power that he possesses to strike back. Castle Grayskull is in ruin. This is perhaps one of the most shocking things that I noticed about the new trailer. Castle Grayskull is shown in the video, and it is picture perfect with some crazy detail. The towers beside the gate that's shaped like a skull and the long path that leads to the castle are all nicely done. But I couldn't help but notice the castle seems to be in ruin. It has a worn down look and some of the walls are falling apart. Also, I wonder what all the red paint is about smeared on the pillars. If that is blood, then surely there have been some great battles around here before Skeletor finally won and took over Eternia. Skeletor's forces look absolutely menacing. It's only a quick scene as Skeletor descends from his spaceship in the trailer, and you quickly realize how he was able to take over Eternia. His army looks massive as they stand in disciplined columns, and even though he's a mighty villain by himself and his trusted minions, this massive standing army means that the forces of King Randor were overwhelmed by the show of strength. Also, I think there's a chance that the heroes will have to wage a guerrilla-style warfare to start things off before they can arrange for a full-scale assault on these forces. Snake Mountain is cartoon accurate. The trailer offers a good, clear look at Snake Mountain and the surrounding landscapes, and they look sufficiently terrifying. As the heroes approach, you can see the rugged terrain, and I would say that the look is inspired by the 2002 Mike Young production Snake Mountain, with all the lava flowing everywhere around it. Trapjaw gets a clear reveal in the trailer. Finally, I could get a clear look at Trapjaw and his face in the new trailer. I love the fighting style that's been shown here as he transforms his blaster arm into a hook. This will be a nice throwback for the longtime fans, and I hope he has a meaningful role in the movie rather than some insignificant cameo. MGM logo features Cringer. Cringer has always been one of my favorites in the animated series and even in future adaptation, and I really appreciate the ones that show Cringer as the fascinating and trusted pet of He-Man. The mighty beast features in the trailer, not only as a companion to Adam, but also in the MGM logo, which is a really nice touch. If Battle Cat doesn't run with the rest of the heroes into battle, I'm going to be seriously disappointed. One of my favorite scenes in the trailer is when He-Man rides his Battle Cat and it furiously takes down one of Skeletor's henchmen in one clean strike. Who is the heroic reptilian? I don't know if this is really a new character introduced for the movie, because some of the fans are saying that this is actually the Lizard Man from the Filmation cartoon, but I don't see a lot of similarities, especially in terms of appearance. The reptilian man in the movie has a giant lizard head with red and black patches and a humanoid body. It is a funny moment as Prince Adam gives a call to his fellow warriors in this motivational speech. He says, "I need every man, woman, or whatever that is," and the camera pans to the reptilian man who stands there among the warriors. Well, at least he's in the He-Man camp and not among the enemies.
I know how it feels to fail.
Man-at-Arms will play a major role. I would expect nothing else because the movie doesn't cast Idris Elba to hand him a minor supporting role. He has as much scope to redeem himself as Prince Adam because he also failed his king when Skeletor won and took over. He's lost a lot. But with the return of Adam as He-Man, he's strengthened and has new motivation. In fact, he might just be a father figure for Adam, guiding him and motivating him through the challenging times. I love it when he says,
And when you fall, that's your chance to stand tall.
because it's exactly the kind of man he is, someone who never gives up. Evil Lyn will probably take center stage. You cannot possibly have a fair Masters of the Universe movie without her presence. And I'm glad that Evil Lyn gets a face reveal in the trailer because she looks absolutely stunning dressed in her black gear and her crown. I expect her to be a scheming figure plotting alongside Skeletor, and I don't think for once that this version can be dismissed for her silly antics. Maybe she'll be the right-hand person for Skeletor as he takes charge, and I don't rule out a Teela versus Evil Lyn contest just to spice things up. Loads of aerial battle. This is something I have observed from the trailer because there are multiple scenes that show various space shuttles and aerial battle. These dogfights also include He-Man and his allies as they face off against Skeletor's henchmen, and I think the theatrical experience will be breathtaking during these action-packed aerial maneuvers. The Sky Sled in the trailer is quite radically redesigned if you compare it to the vintage version, but I don't mind the upgrade. King Randor is probably dead. This might be true based on the evidence, and the trailer indicates that when Skeletor's forces took over, King Randor stayed back while Marlena and Adam escaped. He might be dead, and this will add to the revenge story of Prince Adam. But what will really be an unexpected twist is if Randor is alive and held captive, only for his son to rescue him. But it is unlikely, and my money's on the old king being long gone as the new warriors fight to protect his legacy. The movie promises a redemption. I've already told you about how the movie will explore the heroics of He-Man as he attempts to reclaim Eternia from Skeletor and his evil forces. He starts off as an underdog, stranded away from home, but it all comes down to his resilience and spirit when it's time for him to strike back. The odds are not exactly stacked in his favor, but this is a typical He-Man story, where he simply does what is right and not what is convenient. I think we might have a redemption story at the heart of everything. The overall theme will be all about setting things right, be it for He-Man or for Man-at-Arms who failed his king. Life often comes with second opportunities, and Skeletor's evil reign will be challenged by those who've waited for 2 decades to avenge all the wrong. I don't know about you, but I'm quite intrigued by such a dramatic fantasy-based concept. Other noticeable faces in the trailer. These are some blink and you miss it moments, but the trailer shows the first standing pose for Beastman, even though he hasn't shown up much in either of the 2 trailers. I think he still has a role to play, although it might not be more than a supporting figure. There's also a quick glimpse of Triclops, and one of the angles shows Spycore. A good trailer is not necessarily a guarantee about the movie, but I have a feeling that this one will respect the basics and not become a laughingstock. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Skeletor's voice in the film, but if the story's done right, I think it's too insignificant a subject to complain about. Overall, I have high hopes for this one, and I hope it does justice to all the fans who've been waiting for so long. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the latest trailer, and share your thoughts on what you expect from the upcoming movie.